Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where today you join me to get behind the wheel of the SSR CS. We're here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria as part of SSR Performance's track day. There are some amazing cars around. It might be starting to drizzle, but hopefully we're going to get a section without some rain, because having been to visit the guys and to drive the SSR GT before, today is to experience this. We're talking a GT4 RS upgraded in a big way. While power is effectively at the limit already, they have managed to squeeze out even more. Plus, notice the new front end aero parts, the S-duct right through the front of the car. There's a new motorsport inspired spoiler at the back. We're going to go around the car with Timo, as we did with the GT, today with the CS, and then it's going to be time to hear this thing scream as we drive here at the Red Bull Ring. Hey Timo, how are you?
Hey Tim, good to see you. How are you? Very good.
It's great to be back with the SSR team. We're here at the Red Bull Ring.
So we are here today with our SSR track day, with our customers, racing the street cars, but also the race cars. So we have two groups driving. Now at the moment it's the race cars. I hope it's not too loud.
It will be in a second, but that's a good thing. There's nothing better than taking a look at something new with the sound of race cars blasting past.
Correct. And last time you were here, we were looking at the SSR GT, but now we're here to show you our new project car. It's the same amount of craziness inside, I guess.
I mean, we saw this car on the dyno.
On the dyno, correct.
It was undergoing testing.
Correct.
Of course, at that time, you still had a lot of work to be done with it. But just looking at this and the sounds of the cars going past, we need to talk about the S-duct.
Yep.
We need to talk about the aero, suspension.
So the idea of this concept was to make the car better drivable for our track customers, track-focused customers. And as you know, this one doesn't have the double wishbone suspension out of the 992 GT3, but it has McPherson, which is not as grippy, as good in the kinematics as the original one, or as the double wishbone.
That sounds cool.
So we needed to make the front more stable. What did we do? We achieved some downforce, some crazy amount of downforce in the front.
Yeah.
We were starting with a splitter. We have an enlarged splitter.
Because this is
really thick. So this is double the size or double the thickness of a normal GT4 RS splitter. We've also the underfloor, we've pulled it down. So the underfloor in the front is lower. And then we integrated these flicks into this, what looks like OEM, but it's of course our splitter, completely new, redesigned. And then we were still not there where we wanted to be with the front downforce. So what we did is the S-duct. So
I mean, this is a serious piece.
This is really crazy. Usually the air goes in here, comes out here. But in this case, the air goes in here, comes out here. So the front is working like a wing. Yeah, it pushes the car really down.
Yeah.
There's one slight disadvantage. The trunk or the front is getting a little bit.
Not complaining.
Okay, thank you.
But full carbon hood, full ducts. I love the graphics.
Full carbon graphics. It should show the wind. I designed it to show the wind that goes over the car, that comes out here and goes over the car.
So, this amount of downforce, where are we talking? Like,
we are talking about, if we include the bag, around 200 kilos of downforce, which is like double the amount of the original one, and which is way higher than a 992 GT3.
Because that's 200 kilos at 200 kilometers an hour?
This one, yes, 200 kilos at 200, roughly 200 kilos. So this is a serious amount of downforce. But I will show you quickly. The front, it's a little bit race car front, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can still use it.
Yep.
The trunk, the front, however you want to call it, but it's a little bit smaller now.
Yeah.
So, I'm talking about aerodynamics. We have the huge wing in the back. So it's a one-piece carbon fiber SSR CS wing, integrated gurney. Yeah.
So this is all one piece?
It's all one piece.
One piece carbon fiber wing.
It's made out of two pieces, of course, but it's glued together and it's so that it looks like it's one piece. And it's 5-way adjustable. Compared to the 3-way adjustability of the original one. Right. So we've put a new adjustability element in here. And so when you do it in high downforce, you get this 200 kilos of downforce at 200 kph.
Right.
And what is very impressive about this package is that you can also put it on a GT4, on a regular GT4.
Okay.
So this makes the regular GT4 a true downforce monster.
Yeah.
And then I created new Swan necks with my team and they are fully carbon fiber. So if you have a GT4 and you will get the package, the SSR CS upgrade, then you will have fully carbon fiber swan necks for your GT4.
Okay.
So this is serious stuff.
I love it.
And as you know from the SSR GT, when you add downforce to a car, you need to change the suspension.
Yeah.
And again, we did go to the 7-poster Formula 1 test rig, and the elements we're using for the suspension are the same than the GT4 RS race car. Yeah, it's a 3-way adjustable damper, front and back, which can cope with the aerodynamics, so which can cope with the downforce.
Yep.
So we pulled it down, and then we adjusted the dampers, and that makes a huge difference. And also in the front, we added camber plates to adjust the camber to make more camber possible. So we have 2.8 degrees camber on the front. We have 2.2 camber in the back.
Because stock is about half that or something.
It's about half that, correct. But now we need to somehow strengthen the front axle, as I told you. We added downforce, we added camber, we added a new 3-way adjustable suspension. So you will feel in a moment how crazy different this feels compared to a regular GT4 RS or even a GT4. Yeah, that is crazy. And then of course, sorry?
I was going to say talking engine as well.
Talking engine, correct. It's very difficult to make this faster. Yeah. It's a very good engineered, naturally aspirated 6-cylinder engine. But we managed to do the exhaust system differently. So we changed the cats. We've also had a version where this one is with the OPF delete. And this brings around 15 horsepower, 20 horsepower. Of course, the aerodynamics costs a little bit of power in a straight line. So, but we'll add that with a new exhaust system, with a new catalyst system. So this is a lovely sound. You will love it. It's loud from factory.
With the intakes here on the GT4 RS, it sounds amazing to begin with.
Correct.
Like, the stock car is already great. Take it even further and it's
going to be, you will hear it in a minute.
I'm almost a little anxious as to what it will sound like.
Yep. And then we upgraded the brakes, of course. So we have new brake pads, we have new brake lines, and also the fluid is new. So this really gives you a good feeling of stop. So, but we didn't put the ceramics on, we tried it. But this one works perfectly with the weight of the car, the weight distribution. The normal brake works perfectly with this car.
And running on Cup 2Rs?
Running Cup 2Rs for today. I think these are really nice, suit the cars, suit the track customers. And then when we're here, we have our new wheels. So these are our SSR Performance wheels. They are from the optics close to the original one, but they are 7-spoke and they're much thinner, as you can see. And they save 2.3 kilo around the car. So
unsprung mass as well.
Unsprung mass, so you can multiply it by 4 or so we save like around 10 kilos. I think the looks are really nice. You can get it in every color you want.
Of course. Significant weight saving.
Central locking, so this is like a little bit of weight saving on the car, but I think the main issue is the aerodynamics and the suspension.
So, I am a person who loves the GT4 and the GT4 RS, and I also love driving out on track, somewhere like this. I think at this stage, I'm going to assume this is going to be quite good fun.
This is going to be insane with the setup we put on it. You will feel the downforce. Promise, you will feel it. You will feel the suspension. And what we've added, especially for you, come and have a look. We've added a true race seat, so that you have a really nice feeling. Yeah. So this is now really very close to a race car experience. And we really wanted to achieve that the customers who have a GT4 RS or GT4 can come closer to this race car feeling. So this is our goal. And I hope that you will feel it very soon, that the weather stays clear, and that you can have some quick and fun laps with it.
All right. Well, the race car session should be over shortly.
Yep, in 5 minutes.
Quieter, and it'll be time to get this out.
Perfect, I'm happy to see you in this car.
It's time to do this. We have had some sighting laps, but let's go. SSR CS. Here at the Red Bull Ring, you'll have to excuse the seatbelt chimes for a moment. Of course, we've got the 6-point harnesses on. Those will stop very shortly. Porsches are plenty out on track with the customers of SSR, but here we go. Obviously the very tight, surprising T1 on the outside there, but get ready, foot down, second gear. GT4 RS to begin with, and then the gearbox as we're on the brakes into the turns here. Just listen to those downshifts and wait until we dial it up significantly more for lap 1. Just taking it a bit easy as we get back into this. Up to 9,000 RPM. This thing sounds unreal. We're in Sport PDK, letting the gearbox do its thing. At the moment, heavy braking downhill, the brakes are outstanding in here already. That's something you notice immediately. And the turn-in, the extra work that's been done to the suspension and the feel of this, as I just leave it to do its thing for now. Catching up with the GT4 that's in front of us here. First laps in the SSR CS. This thing is a monster, and the sound is to die for, to absolutely die for. Absolutely unreal. Now, I've only driven here once before, so I've got a bit of learning to have to do. The very tight final corner before we're unleashing onto the start straight, using all of the revs. Listen to this, enjoy this. Then heavy on the brakes into the tight T1, down second gear here, pushing through. We've got Cup 2Rs, we've got some heat in them, they are ready to rock and roll. You feel this through the entirety of your body. Whoa! I'm braking even earlier than I need to there for this tight hairpin. But the grip, the communication, the feedback. If the GT4 RS wasn't already absolutely spot on and dialed in, this is even better. The sound is extraordinary. The sound is so loud, you feel it through the whole of your body. And it's so quick. Maybe not in a straight line compared to some of the big supercars, but I tell you what, the cornering speed, that's where this excels. The GT3 RS up in front of us. It's kind of the GT3 RS to let us through, but he's got the power down the straights. Braking in here is intense, absolutely intense. Trail braking in through the corners as well. The grip, I can go full throttle around here. Absolute full throttle. As we're catching up with a few more GT3s in front. That's quite how poised this is. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling the G-forces through here. Super sticky rubber, immense performance. Steering that is so well dialed in. Amazingly conscious of the sound of this thing. Use all the track width. Look at that GT2 RS pull away down the straight, or the back curves, I guess I should call it, here at the Red Bull Ring. That is off. But let's see how we so nimble and so quick through some of these sharp turns. I think it's pretty cool to be hot on the heels of a GT2 RS around here. Look at this. He's definitely got the speed when we get to the straights, through the corners. This car is unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Thank you. And the braking power in here, it's out of this world. Conscious I've now got a GT2 RS in my mirrors, as I'm getting a little bit more confident in here, starting to use even more of the performance and the pace. I'm really impressed by the gearbox. I'm just happy to leave it in automatic. Let the car choose what's going on. That is one of the things that Porsche always gets so well, is the configuration and tuning of the PDK systems. The late turn in. It's starting to get very, very fast in here. Impressively so. I can't actually quite believe how quickly I'm pedaling a Cayman around a race circuit here. This is mind-blowing. How have they done this? How have they made this car so fast? We're following a 992 GT3 and a GT3 RS, a new one, catching with them at the moment. Obviously the GT3 and GT3 RS, the top level of what you can achieve with this engine. Now with the GT4 RS, opening up the extra power from this, as SSR have done, just gets it that touch closer to the maximum potential of the engine. This is where we do a lap in manual, just to enjoy a little bit more control of the gears. Wonderful SSR GT3 RS in front. I think being driven by Christian Dama, former F1 driver. It's definitely starting to rain quite heavily up towards the top here though. Take first gear because of the short gearing in this. Around that corner. To the red line. It comes at you fast. Very, very, very aware now of the amount of raindrops falling on the window. I think this is probably my last quick lap, and then it's going to be time to turn it down a touch as the rain gets heavier. I will never get bored of this sound. What an absolute dream to be driving this, listening to that noise as you pedal on with impressive pace. And don't get me wrong, down the straight here, the speed isn't obviously what it's about. It's quick, but it's not supercar quick. Where it's really quick is through any corner that you throw at this thing. I need to do a cool down lap definitely getting quite wet. There are some yellow flags. I guess that is going to be the end of our session. Red flag now. Back towards base. What an experience. We'll cool the car down as we make our way back around. It's strange to be sitting in the full fixed race buckets. Obviously, they give you a very different sensation. You feel like you're in race car. It sounds like you're in race car. It's so visceral and emotive, this drive. I've always said that about the GT4 RS in general. But this is for the ultimate in track toy for gentleman driving, you know, to make the GT4 RS into something that's even more extreme and more dialed up and even more exciting. I mean, the speed of the shifts. Not many cars can do that fast and sound so good. You've got the induction right behind your ears. It's so silly and so impressive. So impressive, you know? Oh, it's easy to make a car fast in a straight line. It's very hard to make a car that fast around corners. Very, very hard. It's so sticky, there's so much grip. I would love more sessions. Obviously, you've seen me go out for my first laps. Give me a full day in this car, and by the end of the day, with the confidence it instills, the laps would be quick, really quick. Like, even I'm already at the stage of teaching myself what I need to do better on the next laps. Sadly, we do need to head into the pit lane. You know what? We've only used an eighth of the fuel tank, the 90-litre tank. That's one of the other things that these Porsches do so well, is that you can drive an entire track day without having to go to a petrol station every 5 seconds, which makes a huge difference versus a McLaren, for example, or the Ford GT, which I have done a few track days with in mine, and it's always been horrific. Back into drive. Everything basically in its standard settings. I didn't feel I needed to turn traction control off. We had so much grip anyway. I never felt like it was going to break away and send me all over the place. Just noise, noise, noise. Pure enjoyment, and it's super simple to pop it back into manual to enjoy some of those downshifts. As we make our way back down the pit lane, past the GT3 RS here, and get ready to be returned to the paddock. What a drive! What a drive! All I can say is thank you to the SSR team for letting me drive this, because that was unbelievable. I've had a few minutes just to let the dust settle. It is of course now raining, but the SSR CS at the Red Bull Ring. And I tell you what, just to kind of process this, as Timo said earlier, it's feeling that front end, the extra downforce that you have at the front end. And obviously this is a track with a lot of undulations. I've driven it before in a Lamborghini Huracan Performante and a McLaren 620R. I've experienced what this place is like, but this gives so much more confidence than I expected from before, particularly on the turn-in through some of the faster sections. And obviously with this amount of power, you can be foot flat as well through those. When you get to the last two corners of the track, the last two turns, being able to just position, point the car in third gear through the penultimate corner, then you go into second gear for that very last tight technical corner before coming down the straight. And the front end of the car is so rewarding, it's so planted. Obviously Cup 2R's giving you even more grip, but that amount of downforce, the S-duct, everything that's happening there, the upgrades to the suspension system, the overall setup, and then when you combine that with the seats that we have in here, the winged buckets, plus the amount of noise that you get from these intakes right behind you, the screaming, naturally aspirated flat six, and you bring that together, you feel like you're in almost race car, but basically a GT4 RS, still familiar in many ways in the way that it drives, the way that it feels, but absolutely turned up, absolutely dialed up. Now, I expected that to be an awesome drive from my experience in the GT4 RS before now. I've driven one on the road, and I have driven one in the US on track as well, but this thing is like the ultimate Porsche Cayman product, the ultimate thing that you could make to drive and just to experience and to enjoy. I need a little bit longer to completely wrap my head around all of it, but that is like where this for the road is the ultimate daily supercar. That is the ultimate drive to the track, go have fun, keep going. We barely used any fuel out of it. You know that you can just drive and drive and drive and drive this thing. Obviously, we've got new brake pads and discs on the setup at the moment, but you can just go and go and go and have fun. And that's the idea. That's why there's a day like today, the SSR track days for SSR's customers, to just enjoy the car, to enjoy it. And you probably saw I had a massive smile on my face, because how can you not? Something like this at a place like this. So good. For more information though about the car, obviously I'll pop the links down below. Head on over to SSR and you can find out about the new SSR CS upgrade package for the Porsche GT4 and GT4 RS, for the GT4 718 Cayman GT4 as well as the full GT4 RS. Today has been mega. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Timo for showing us around the car earlier. Thank you to you guys for watching as always. But that's it for this time from here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.